Alright, so what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. I hope you're enjoying the start of your weekend. And yeah, today I have some 4-3-2-1 tactics to help you out with your FUT champs or whatever game mode you're playing. Yeah, nothing crazy in terms of changes and that, I'll be honest, but just a few minor tweaks and that to fit the current state of the gameplay. I did make a few different changes that did help, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Sorry if this video is a bit shorter, but yeah, let's get right into the video. If you guys want coins for FC24, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're very fast, they're very cheap, they're very reliable, and if you use my code Rema, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. Alright then guys, so starting off with the tactics. Defensive style, we have it on balance because I find it to be the most controlled for me. So if I want to press my opponent, I can do that, and then if I want to like drop off and then be a bit more passive, I can also do that. So balanced allows me to have greater control over my defense, which the other settings don't let me do. If you want to change this to a pressure tactic, however, that is completely up to you. That is fine. For the width, guys, on the defense, I've actually upped this from about 35 to 45. The reason being was I was getting completely destroyed down the wings and I didn't really like it. So I still like to primarily make my defense more narrow-minded by having it below 50, but then we've also got better coverage of the wider areas now because we've got that higher width number than we did before. So it kind of just makes it a little bit more balanced in the current state of the game. That being said, you can pretty much use whichever defensive width you want. It's not like a specific thing you have to use. Now for the depth, guys, there are a couple different options you can use. If you want, you can use the 71 depth thing, which a lot of people like to use. That is where you get the automatic press from the AI. It's a very overpowered depth, I'll be honest with you, but you really have to be that type of player to enjoy using it. Me, I like to have greater control over my defense because I like to defend as manually as possible, so 71 depth doesn't always feel great for me. So I prefer something like 60 where we've got that higher defensive line, but we don't have to rely on that automatic press and we have a bit more control. That being said, if the depth is still too high for you, feel free to lower it, and again, that is absolutely fine, guys. Now moving on to the build-up play, balanced is the way to go in my opinion. Does give you the most controlled and varied form of build-up, so if you want to play slow, for example, you can do that, and then if you want to speed up and then play a little bit faster, you can also do that. So balanced is like the best of both worlds really, and I think it's the best thing to use, but that is just my opinion. For chance creation, guys, direct passing, as always, the most important in my opinion. It's the only tactic which allows you to create consistent chances in this game yet again. It's been like this for a few years now. Direct passing means your attackers will commit these runs, the defenders will follow that run, and then when that defender's overcommitted, the attack will track back so you can like cut back to them. So a bit boring, but very effective. Your attackers also seem to like back up against the opposition defenders, meaning it's very easy to isolate a specific defender and take them on in a 1v1 play. So direct passing, very important in my opinion. Now for the width, guys, this is one of the major changes that's happened to my tactics recently. Now, if you've been watching for a while, you'll know I like to use really low attacking widths because I like to go through the middle as much as possible. But no matter how much you try in FC24, you really do have to go down the wing a lot of the time because it's the only way to consistently beat the defense as the AI is not too strong out wide. So it's a little bit annoying, but a higher width has just made it easier to attack in this game. And we can still sometimes go through the middle, so it's alright, but yeah, it's just the way this game is, unfortunately. So a higher width has done me a bit better, but again, you guys can control your attacking width, it doesn't really matter. For the players in the box, I have it on 6 at the moment. Get a few players into the box, but we don't overcommit everybody by having the whole team going, of course, and yeah, that's what I use for that. And then the corners and the free kicks, I have them both on 1 at the moment, but you guys can use whatever you want for that as well. Now moving on to the player instructions, guys. On this striker, we have them on stay central and mixed attack. Stay central because we don't really want our striker drifting out wide as such. It doesn't really work too well in this kind of setup, in my opinion. You want at least one player in the middle so they can always be relied upon and help you out. Now because it's a one striker setup as well, I also prefer mixed attack as opposed to getting behind because I feel like you need to get more out of this player as they have to do the job that 2 strikers would do. So where you could have one striker running in behind and then the other either, you know, staying a little bit deeper. You can't really do that with a one-striker formation, so mixed attack's better as it allows them to do a bit more than they would be able to if they were just getting in behind all the time. That being said, again, you can put them on getting behind if you would like, and that is absolutely fine. Now for the right forward guys, right centre forward, stay central and getting behind. Stay central does keep them a bit more in the narrow spaces as opposed to the wide, but because we've got that high attacking width anyway, it keeps them in a pretty weird spot where it's hard for the defenders to mark, where they're not completely out on the touchline and they're not right in the centre either. It's like a really weird pocket of space where the player could either run into a narrow spot or out wide really easily. So you've got like multiple options by having them on stay central, in my opinion. Keeps them in really nice positions, and then getting behind on this player because we want to utilise their pace to get in behind those defensive lines and create chances as best as possible. For the left forward guys, we have them on getting behind and then come back on defence. Obviously getting behind so we can utilise their pace to get in behind the defensive lines like the other forward, but we actually have this player on come back on defence to make it defend in a 4-man midfield. This is just the most meta thing you can do in terms of tactics because the 4-4-2 is such a good defensive shape, you know. It's got really good coverage of the central areas with those two centre mids, and then also really good coverage of the wider areas with the right mid and the left mid. So this player on come back on defence will come back to defend as a left midfielder in the 4-4-2 shape, meaning we'll defend in a 4-4-2 and attack in a 4-3-2-1. Now for the left centre mid, we have them on the default settings and pop them on cover centre. Now this is my more box-to-box style centre mid, so we don't really want to restrict them all that much. We want them to attack, we want them to defend, we want them to do a bit of everything, which is why we leave them alone essentially. We don't really want to restrict that. And then cover centre so that they will actually defend as one of those centre mids in the 4-4-2 shape, which is really, really useful, guys. Now for the middle centre mid, the more defensive minded player, so Shuameni in my case, stay back while attacking and cover centre. Pretty self-explanatory, but stay back while attacking is obviously useful because if it's a defensive player, we don't exactly want them going flying forward all the time. So stay back gives us that balance in the midfield, and it's really nice to use in my opinion. And then cover centre so that they defend as one of the centre mids in the 4-4-2 shape like the other centre mid. Now for the right centre mid, based on what I said about this defending in a 4-man midfield, when we put this player on cover wing, it'll make them defend as a right midfielder in the 4-4-2 shape. So you don't actually have to worry about this player's defensive stats as such because they're going to be out wide in the defense. They're not going to be one of like the primary centre mids that needs to have really good defensive stats. You can get away with using an attacker like I do with Griezmann here. Just pop them on cover wing and then get into the box across and get forward. It gives you an extra attacker and it is really, really nice to use in my opinion. Somebody with a high work rate is the best at this because they can quickly transition into attack and then back into the defensive position. But yeah, you can pretty much use whoever you want on this cover wing instruction. Now for the left back guys, or whichever your most attacking fullback is, balanced attack and overlap. This is so we can get that extra option when we are attacking. The overlap run type when this player goes forward means that we can stretch out the opponent's defense and it leaves more space for our attackers to get through. It's just a really nice option to have that overlapping fullback, but if you don't want to do that, you can put them on stay back, but I do really recommend balanced overlap on one fullback. And then for the other one, the more defensive one, stay back and overlap, so you've got 3 defenders back at a time, but then when you send this player on a run forward like the other fullback, they'll make the overlapping runs. For the 2 centre backs guys, I leave them alone and I do not touch them. And then the goalkeeper, I also leave them alone, but you can pop them on comes for crosses and sweeper keeper if you would like, but again that is not a necessity. And yeah, they are the tactics and instructions that I use for the 4-3-2-1 right now. I hope these really help you out. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to drop this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new so you never miss out on any videos, of course, and then don't forget to turn on those notifications so you do actually get notified when a video is posted. And yeah, with all that aside guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out guys.